Yes guys, welcome back to the third episode within this series where I basically teach how to lose weight for long-term sustainability without making the progress and then giving it up within 8 weeks time. So today's episode we are going to be going through 6 fat loss myths that you've probably heard before, but we're just going to uncover the truth with it just so then you don't fall into the same trap as what a lot of people have done already. Now the first one is you must cut out all carbs. Now carbs are not a bad thing. People look at them as though they are your worst enemy within your fat loss journey. But if you actually look back at the previous episode what I've just put out about what actually is a calorie deficit, you'll understand that carbs are not your enemy. They're going to help within your fat loss journey. Now, a lot of people think they are your enemy. When people tend to cut out carbs, they'll tend to lose a lot of weight fast. But a lot of that is actually just water weight. It's not actually the fat you're dropping off your body. What you've got to remember is carbs is a great energy source. So if you are cutting out all of your carbs, so say for example you go on a keto diet, then you're going to be losing a lot of energy. So just your day-to-day jobs, your day-to-day tasks, you're not going to have the energy, you're not going to be able to wanting to put as much energy into what you are doing. Carbs are not a bad thing. If anything, they actually are going to help you. So if you cut out all the carbs, yes, you are going to lose weight, but it's the same as anything. If you cut out all fats, you're going to lose weight just because you're cutting out a big chunk of your calorie intake throughout the day. So to lose weight, same again, it is just that calorie deficit that you need. So if you are cutting out a big chunk of your calorie intake, then obviously you are going to lose weight. But like I mentioned, it is more likely going to be water weight rather than actual fat that you're losing. Number 2, fats make you fat. So very similar to carbohydrates, you do not need to cut out fats to lose fat. Fat is an essential part of your diet that you need to include to be able to function within your to help with cognitive function and just overall health. Now don't get me wrong, if you are consuming a lot of fatty foods, you are putting in an abnormal amount of fatty foods in your body than what you're used to, the chances are you are going to add on a little bit of weight, but that's just because you're probably going to be in a calorie surplus, so you are going to be increasing weight. But if you are wanting to drop body fat, you do not need to cut out fats. Like I say, it is an essential part of your diet, and it can help obviously improve hormones, help improve cognitive function, especially if you're having fatty foods that include high in omega-3. But the only thing you do need to watch out for with fats is fats are quite calorie dense. So when you are obviously sorting out your nutrition plan, your diet plan, just be aware that there is more calories per gram in fat than there is compared to your carbohydrates and proteins. Number 3, skipping meals will help speed up your weight loss journey. Now don't get me wrong, you may think to yourself, right, if I skip this meal then I'm going to be not consuming an extra 400 or 500 calories, but what it's going to do is going to massively reduce your energy levels. So say for example, if you don't eat till 3 p.m. in the day, throughout that whole morning you are going to be lacking energy. So your normal day-to-day functions, so just going for a walk, washing the pots, cleaning the car, the stuff that you usually do, you're not going to be putting as much effort into it, so you're not going to be burning as many calories from that. What you'll also notice as well, it will start obviously increasing hunger because you've not eaten. So let's say you go shopping in the morning, you walk past the aisle with all the sweets, treats, everything like that. Because you are hungry, because you have not eaten, you're more likely going to make bad food choices. Like say if you are shopping, or even if you're just at home, you're more likely going to reach in the cupboard where all your weak points are, and indulge in the foods that you necessarily shouldn't be over consuming on. What you'll also notice as well, when you do have your first meal for the day, so like I said, if you've not eaten all day, sit down, have your first meal, you'll generally overeat on that meal as well. So if you think you are holding back from the calories you're not eating in the morning, you're more than likely going to consume them calories in the meals later on in the day as well. Number 4, extreme diets yield the best results. Now don't get me wrong, if you go on an extreme diet, if you are just starting out on your fat loss journey and you go on an extreme diet, you are going to lose weight, and I mean you are going to lose weight rapidly. However, what this doesn't do, if you are on that for 4 weeks, you're not going to be able to build any sort of good habits. You're not going to be able to build any sort of long-term sustainable habits that you can keep on track of, just so then the results still keep coming. What you'll notice is, say for that, like say for 2 to 4 weeks, you absolutely smash that extreme diet out, you will lose a lot of weight, but you'll start creeping in old habits. And then what you'll start doing is just going back to normal. The weight will go back up, the weight will come back on, and you'll be back to square one. What you want to do is try and aim for a sustainable approach. So say for example, you are just wanting to do it for a short term anyway, but you want to try and build in sustainable habits so that even if 12 months down the line, you've built them habits that you can stick to and still make the results. So rather than jumping straight on a diet where you're in 1,000 calorie deficit, only eating 1,200 calories a day, start off by just 10 to 20% calorie reduction within your maintenance calories. And this is going to be a lot more sustainable for you to stay on track of. Eat the foods you enjoy. You're still going to have the flexibility to go out at the weekends if you want to go out and eat or go out and drink. But it's also going to teach a long-term habit, so you're not just restricting yourself all at once. Like I say, you can still go out, have fun, eat the foods you enjoy, but you are still making that progress. And then what you'll start to notice is that when you are making that progress, you're gonna have a psychological change where you're gonna get into good habits long term. Number 5, exercise alone is good for weight loss. Now, don't get me wrong, if you are a complete brand new beginner to absolutely everything, you've never really tracked anything that you're eating, you've never done any sort of form of exercise, then if you are just starting off by increasing the amount of steps you're doing, if you are just moving more throughout the day, a lot more cautious with what you are eating throughout the day as well, then you are going to start obviously noticing some progress. However, if you go back and watch my previous video with what actually is a calorie deficit, you'll notice that you need to be consuming less calories than what you're putting out on a daily basis. So you will need to track your foods, you will need to track obviously your activity levels throughout the day, and only until you are in that calorie deficit you'll start to notice weight loss. And number 6, you'll probably see all over social media you need to be taking this supplement, that supplement to actually lose weight. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some supplements out there that are going to be beneficial and going to help you along the way in terms of health and performance. But in terms of actual weight loss itself, you should not be buying any of these weight loss supplements. As long as you are in a calorie deficit, you are going to be losing weight. Now, like I say, you will see all over social media that this supplement is your best weight loss supplement about, but realistically, unless you are in a calorie deficit, you're not going to be losing weight. The way that they work is they are quite high in caffeine, so if you are low, obviously if you're dropping your calories, you are going to feel a little bit of exhaustion. So if you are taking these tablets, then obviously it's going to give you that caffeine boost, but nothing a coffee can't sort out itself. What you want to do is, if you are starting out, just keep it as simple as possible. Track everything that you're doing, track your foods, track your movement, and as long as you are in that calorie deficit, you will start losing weight. If you are starting your fat loss journey, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel because I am going to be uploading, and comment what your fat loss goals are.